I woke up screaming. Woke up screaming. Nobody gives a shit. You're told to reach out if you're feeling bad. But what good does it do if no one picks up the phone? I'm lost in the narcissistic membranes of brain synapses that pay me no mind. The only thing that has ever made one iota of sense to me is the art, and the art never fails me, even when I fail myself. I woke up screaming like a Barbie with no head, and whose dream house is underwater. It's like I hardly exist, or I exist but only to myself, behind shutters the color of coal dust. Skate on the frozen ice, and pray it does not crack and swallow you whole. I've always believed I was brilliant, but that does not feed nor clothe me, no matter how generous my daydreams are. She told me she heard my message, but that she was going through her own depression, and calling would not be possible at this time. I understand we have to be our biggest champions, but sometimes self-love just ain't enough in these claustrophobic days and nights of continual terror. Woke up wishing I were dead. Woke up with ice water in my veins. Woke up feeling like I had swallowed Charlie Brown, the football, and Schroeder's piano. Woke up and texted a friend, and that only made me feel worse. I am tired of being the only one there for myself. I had a dog when I was 14 and didn't fully appreciate him. I've done things my way for as long as I can remember, and it hasn't helped me one bit. I need a change of scenery, but don't drive. So I will exist behind these canvas curtains and pray God hasn't forsaken me. I feel like a round peg in a square hole. Hypodermic needles of fear wake me from my despotic slumber. It's futile to resist the call of the wild. I feed on words spoken and repressed. I've run the gamut before hiding in plain sight. Religious extremists have it easy because they have God to use as both a weapon and as a crutch. The marijuana finally left my system. All I wanted to do was kick back. Instead, I ended up repeatedly kicking myself in the head. Cold shivers of panic and anxiety run down my body like false memories. We went to Niagara Falls and got sick on saltwater taffy and tourism bullshit. I cannot imagine being locked into this kind of stupefying depression with no exit strategy or emergency contact to call. Alone. Listening to Craig Fursden read one of his poems, the last thing I remember is picking up black material from one of my socks. I'm alone ever since my mother passed away in October. I have no family to speak of. My friends are the only family I have, and they're all busy with their own families. Am I feeling sorry for myself? No, not really. It's just the truth, and the truth will either whip me into shape or retire me as I attempt breaking back into the human race. Craig lays it all down in the moment, and I'm alone with his generous, genuine spirit. As I listen, I'm reminded how it felt hearing Lincoln deliver the Gettysburg Address. Yes, I was there, or I like to believe I was, because when moments are marked in blood, we must push through history and relive the very best parts of our future and past selves. The porn does only so much, and the art fills in quite a bit. But there is still something I'm missing as I look back and see only one set of footprints in the embryonic snow. Maybe God was carrying me. Or maybe, just maybe, I'll forever be lost in this empty space. The grieving process takes time, like standing in line at the airport or sinking your teeth into a juicy steak. Colorblind. Put on the gray socks Linda recently gave me, and my feet felt toasty, and I felt safe. Safe and sound from those who play a hand just so you can see their knuckles sweat. Admit that you've overextended yourself, then go live in a fallout shelter in Siberia. I'm not happy, nor am I content, nor do I feel all that seaworthy. I would take anti-nausea medicine, but what is the point when I'm bound to get thrown overboard at any second of the day or night? The sharks would give me a pass, and I don't even believe Mr. Limpet would want to be my friend. I sat stone-faced in the jury room as 11 angry men made mincemeat of your alibi. I caved in. I voted guilty because I've never been very good at peer pressure or standing my ground. It's a character flaw, like my sketchy work history and my inability to commit myself to one asylum and stay put. Put on the yellow, loud yellow shirt I bought at that thrift store in Michigan and felt like I was ready for a cruise or to bury a body in Jersey. Something's not quite right with the world, and the more we try and draw the shades, the less hope we have of getting out of here alive. Someone needs to remind Fat Donnie he is not the Lizard King, and he cannot do whatever he chooses, no matter how many people he shoots on Fifth Avenue or deports to keep America white. For Juliet, chortle. Don't worry. This poem isn't for you. Another declaration of misappropriated self, formulated without conscience. No. This will have no effect on you because I plan on it being ineffectual. Through the sleet and meandering din of unholy nothingness, through the clarinet whispers of slip, slide, and away orchestrated somethingness, I can hear your poetry screams, and it leavens me like the Lord on Sabbath. Don't worry, this poem will be short, or it won't, and I will not drop any names, because I know how that annoys you. I will do my very best to be brief, because what's the point of drawing out the inevitable? We talked in great detail about death, and it left me in need of a stiff drink of tap water. Don't worry, this poem isn't for you. In fact, it's not even for me. As my fingers find the keys and I allow my mind to wander like stoned sheep out for a morning grazing, I wish I could get choked up, but I just don't seem to have it in me. More often than not, I discover myself going through the motions, and the motions, like the sea, are endless and soaked through and through with debris, and fish feces. Woke up one morning to find you watching me sleep. I think you were amazed to see me somewhat at peace, and not storming like some Mad Max figurine. Fuck. Fuck. I just dropped a name, and I pray you'll forgive me for my indiscretions and inability to keep a promise. Through the volcanic wordiness of another limp, untested epiphany, through the saxophone wails of burgeoning truth, and the burdensome lies of another ticker-tape parade of mysticism and unmatched fury. I can see you. I can see you struggling with your brain issues and becoming even more beautiful through the stresses and strains of dead space. Don't worry. I'll get out while the getting is good. I've probably overstayed my welcome like I have a tendency to do. Yes, yes, I've said too much, because streams of consciousness oftentimes run the gamut before running out of steam. Is the latest poem that I've written. The life and times of a beatnik. Desolation angels. Let's take what's left and try our best to keep it whole. Race across the country looking for your father. The Holy Ghost called and wants his martyr complex back. I was so bent out of shape I couldn't get straight. All the country songs in the world won't make me an alcoholic. I tried, and still I didn't fit in the skeleton keyhole. If you're comfortable basking in someone else's 15 minutes, there's no hope for you. Dr. Sachs, sitting on the toilet, writing your guts out, while an exterminator looks for a clean needle. Living with your mother may not be all that, but when you're cracking up, it may be the very last safety net you have left. Streams of mediocrity wrap around my throat and silence my pangs for acceptance and alchemy. I desire to be free of all constraints, but I don't wish to die, if such a thing's even possible. I resist everything and everyone, but I have to admit waking up alone is getting old. I must pull my head out of my ass, but to do that, I will need to discover some sunshine in my life pronto. Maybe I need to go to a library and get lost in the books before it's too late. On the road. When I was a kid, I liked to go to 7-Eleven and eat a burrito on the wall outside of the store. It made me feel like I was some kind of cool cat, different than all the rest of the alley cats. Started to again buy frozen burritos, and they lend me some solace in these dark days. Woke up a few hours ago with that sinking feeling in my gut already taking hold. The life and times of a beatnik. I'm Charles Cicirella. Thanks for listening. That's about the last few poems that I've written. I wanted to rate them and put them out there on the interweb. Thank you.